Hello there! This is DBT, and these are the runes. And alright, today we will be checking the results for the HOVAC competition, the House of Rooms Asphalt Challenges, quote-unquote award ceremony, if you will. In case you're not aware of what HOVAC is, a link is appearing right now on the top right corner with the announcement video I did last week. But the short of it is, every week we will be posting challenges in the House of Rooms, which in case you don't know, is my Discord server, link is in the description. These challenges are for people in the community to participate and compete against one another in a friendly environment, with less focus on the well-known OP cars and instead focusing on beating the challenges with existing restrictions of cars and even boosters. And at the end of the challenge week, we do what we're doing now, our award ceremony, where we will watch the winners do their winning. So let's begin this. Now, the first challenge, which was for the rank of 1230, you can see over here that the track selected was the London Eye. The tracks are selected at random. And as far as the game mode, we will be doing Classic for the foreseeable futures. Now, in this particular case, boosters were allowed, so you were able to go full-on triple boosted for it. And of course, there's the ban card list and the rules that you can check in our Discord servers. As shown down here, this entire challenge was running from February 18 to 26th. It was more than a week because this is the pilot run, so we had to adjust a couple of things, but February 26th was indeed the deadline. So, with that in mind, why don't we check who was actually the one to get the third place? Oh yeah, we're gonna check the top three. And the third place was for CZN with a time of 103.953. So how about we check that lap? Now, this particular lap I actually had to mute it because it has some music on the background and that might just end up being an issue on YouTube, so no sound for this one, but let's look at the lap itself. Remember, it's triple boosted, so it's completely allowed to do whatever you can, except obviously using the banned cars. He's using the Lotus Elise Cup, and we can see that right at the beginning what is kind of expected, going as quickly as possible. But the interesting part of this particular lap is the nitro management, and that is one of the parts that become really challenging when you're using slow cars. Learning how to manage your nitro. You can see that he's actually going for the destruction of property, of all those little items in the map to gain that tiny little bit of extra nitro, doing some good drifting, why not some spins, get the nitro going and go for the perfect nitro. Not so much triple tap, because of course that's gonna end up depleting all of your nitro real quick. Goes for the jump for the extra speed and more perfect nitro action. So it's a very good lap overall, and in fact I was a little bit surprised that he went for that particular jump, because I've always thought that it slows you down, but the reality is that when you're focusing so hard in trying to get some extra nitro, you really need to make the most out of it. Now, the nitro was just enough to get across the line, and that is gonna do it for our first lap. Now, how about we check the second place, which was by Marwin with a time of 103.722. Let's have a look at that one. Now, this lap I also had to mute because this one has the music from the game itself, and you know that's a bit of a problem because some of that music is copyrighted and YouTube doesn't like that. A little bit of different contrast on the screen, but it's all good. Starting with the perfect nitro, get past all of the other dudes, of course, because you are to play in quick race in classic mode. You do have a bunch of AI, which you may or may not use in order to knock down and get some additional nitro. However, since this is triple boosted already, you don't really need to be knocking them down. In fact, they will just slow you down. And that is where these little differences of being boosted or unboosted can make a difference. Now, he's running pretty low on nitro over here. A good drift and doesn't go for the spins in the first jump. The second jump, however, is where he's gonna restore some of that nitro, that precious nitro. Going again for destroying all those little obstacles. What would you call them? Objects on the map. Perfect nitro as usual. And yeah, it's always really nice to see some good use of the perfect nitro, because I think it's very obvious that multiplayer, it's all about triple tap nitro as much as you can, perfect nitro from time to time, but over here with slow cars, you really want to make the most out of that nitro. It actually runs out at the very last second, but it still gets a pretty Pretty respectable time of 103.722. Beautiful lap. And for our first place, the winner is some random guy. That's actually the names that show on Discord, so that's the ones that I'm using over here. You can see that the time was of 103.689, so let's check that one out. Now, this one is not actually muted, but you will still have some troubles listening or hearing the sounds of the game because they're really, really low, but they're there. Maybe they will come through in the video, we'll see. So a little bit of loading time, and let's begin this. Again, classic mode, same car, the Lotus Elise Cup, and start with the perfect nitro. You can see when you see the top players going really hard at trying to get the best time, you start to notice the things that they do the same. But if you pay enough attention, you start noticing the things that they do different. Where do they go for the spins? How many obstacles are they trying to destroy? For example, that is a very fancy forced barrel roll for that one, which provides quite a bit of nitro. It might not be as much as 2 flat spins, but it saves a lot of time because you land perfectly fine and you get to keep pretty much all of your speed. A little bit of flat spins over there, same situation. He doesn't go to get those tires on the road, so I think he's feeling confident with the amount of nitro that he has. Gotta say, that Lotus in black looks pretty menacing. I'm not a big fan of black cars, but it's still a very, very cool car with a big wing, so how can I hate it? Goes for the jump, again, nitro management still pretty good. Going for perfect nitros all the way, because honestly, that only makes sense. The nitro was more than enough, and with that fantastic lap, he gets the first place with a time of 103.689. And that is what some random guy got for the first place in the first bracket of the challenge. And now let's check the second challenge, which was for the rank of 1320. Now this one was in the track of French Guyana, I don't know how to pronounce that. Again, game mode, it's classic. However, for this particular one, you were not allowed to use booster, so it's all about that nitro management with relatively slow cars. So, what was the result over there? Well, the third place went to Blue Corgi with a time of 118.473. Let's check that one. Now here we have another one that it's muted because it has in-game music. Now this is not a hard rule, but it would be nice if these videos are recorded without music, because that would allow us to listen to the game itself. But here we go, starting with the TVR Sagaris. Well, I mean, he's gonna use the same car all the way through, but getting some knockdowns to get that quick nitro right away. Running low right now, so he has to look for a way to get some extra, and goes for some really, really peculiar flat spins, but that's more than enough to build pretty much all of the nitro. Proceeds with some perfect nitro, picking up some of the extra bottles, destroying some of the environmental hazard. I don't know what to call them, I still haven't figured it out. Still going pretty good with the perfect nitro. You gotta admire that position for the nitro flames on that car. It just looks so wide, so aggressive. Doing pretty good with all this loopy, strange up-down section. Going with a little more perfect nitro over here. Touching the walls a bit much, so he's in a way killing a little bit the chances for the, what's it called? The perfect lap? Is that what it's called? When you get extra nitro for not colliding with walls for 15 seconds. But he seems to be doing alright in regards to the nitro, forcing a better roll, probably going for a second force. In fact, he missed the ramp altogether, but that doesn't seem to affect him too much because he still got some nitro. Running pretty low, but fortunately there's a couple of bottles up ahead, and while the quality of the video is a little bit dubious, he still finishes the lap with a pretty respectable time of 118.473 with the TVR Sagaris. Very well done. Now for the second place, that was by Pinecone with a time of 117.862. What did he do different? Let's see. Now another one we had to mute because of the same situation, music on the background, so unfortunately we cannot listen to the in-game sound, but we'll watch what happened over here. It's a bit of a compilation that he did, but we start at this point. So some knockdowns again for gaining the nitro, going for the risky nitro bottle on the sides. It's a little bit risky because you don't want to really touch the wall or just straight up collide with that entire section. Going for some more perfect nitro, good. Is that a micro drift? I think that's what it's called, a micro drift, isn't it? Again, good use of the perfect nitro, destruction of property. I think that's what I'm just gonna call it over here, destruction of property, because I can think of a better term. He continues to run a little bit low on nitro, but you can see that he's doing a little bit of save nitro, use it, save, use, save, use. Now this is the section for the triple tap nitro. There's just enough nitro around for you to make it through, but at the very end, of course, you want to go with the perfect nitro, going for the best possible racing line, trying to take some of the turns wide. In some others, just be close enough to the wall. I believe he touched the wall right there. Yeah, there we go. So again, killing a little bit the chances for the perfect lap, but trying to force the barrel roll didn't quite work. However, over here this section, enough nitro to be found. The second forced barrel roll is achieved, and the nitro situation seems to be pretty alright. Running low, but no worries, here comes more nitro bottles. Yeah, I think the bitrate on the videos in this section goes low because there's too much on the screen happening. I don't know, but that is his lap with a time of 1:17.8. In case you missed it, I just wanted to show you. It was with the Lotus Exige S Coupe. There's the time. There we go. So that leaves the question, who was the winner for the challenge at the rank of 1320? And that was Marwin with a time of 1:17.582. Let's see what he did. What can I say? Pretty much all of these have to be muted because of the music. Sorry. I don't know if some of that music is copyright free or not, but I'm not gonna risk it. So no music, no sounds for this. So yeah, if you wanna listen to this, you're participating in this, you may want to record this without music. Just saying, it's not a necessity, but it would help. But here we go. A similar start to the previous lap that we just watched. Now this one, it's actually a different card that I don't really know what it is, but I will tell you at the end of the lap because I don't quite recognize it. It doesn't matter. He's doing good, touching a little bit of the wall, trying to shave as many milliseconds as possible. Going over here probably with the triple tap nitro. Yes, there is. Perfect with the triple tap, picking every single nitro bottle, going on a perfectly straight line, and over here switching back to perfect nitro to make it last as long as possible. You can see that he's going for those little poles, destruction, in order to get that tiny bit of percentage that you get by destroying the property of the asphalt installation thing, whatever. And forcing the first barrel roll kind of close to those Crowley machines that to this day I really don't know what they are, but hey, they're there. Second barrel roll force, fantastic. Nitro situation also looking pretty good. I think in fact this is the best nitro situation from all the laps that we have watched so far, for this challenge at least. And there we go, it's gonna end the lap with nitro. More than enough nitro, and there you have it. First place, and yeah, it was the Da Vinci. Totally knew that's what it was. And indeed, we got a beautiful lap time of 1:17.582. And that makes Marwin the winner. First place for the 1320 bracket challenge. Now, for the third challenge at the rank of 1500, you can see over here the chosen track was Venice, and this time no boosters are allowed, so people are gonna have to really struggle to get some nitro going. Let's check who did the third place, or got the third place, and that is Blue Corey with a time of 1:24.099. Let's look at his lap. As expected, it is muted because, you know, do I have to explain it now? He's going the Porsche Cayman GT4. Going for the knockdowns right at the beginning, building a little bit of nitro, goes for a third and fourth knockdown, that's a full nitro bar, and perfect nitro, a little bit of drifting here and there, obviously to try to take these turns the closest to the wall possible, but maybe avoiding touching it for the sake of that perfect lap. Going for some extra spins, maybe a bit overkill, but in the end he finishes with a full nitro bar, so that's looking good for him. Good micro drift. Going for the metal bottle, I'm not sure that's necessarily the best idea because you did have a bunch of nitro, so maybe going for the blue one at the right, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm a mediocre player, so how can I critique the people that are doing the best laps, huh? How can I? Doing some flat spins, destruction, more destruction, nitro, this whole section, well, I mean, I think we all do it exactly the same. I would have thought he was gonna go for those little pillars, but apparently he decided to just shape rather, a couple more milliseconds, going for the nitro bottle. I used to go for that jump for the barrel rolls, but apparently it's not all that good. Taking the first, second jump with triple tap to keep all the speed possible. Then at the drop here, going triple tap, micro drift, some longer drift, aligning himself, I can speak, I promise. And there you have it, a beautiful lap with a time of 1:24.099 with that Porsche Cayman GT4. It has a wing. I like it. But if that was the third place, what did the second place did? Well, that was Pinecone with 1:23.390, and this was his lap. At this point, I have to start questioning if we're ever gonna hear rooms. I don't think so, because everybody went with music. It's fine. It's not on the rules that you have to go without music, but it would be nice if it didn't have any. Just saying. And Pinecone is going with the Camaro SS with a fancy American-looking livery. Goes for 4 knockdowns, make that 5-6 knockdown, full nitro bar. And here we go with a little bit of drifting sections. Now, this entire section is important because it really can make or break your lap depending on how wide you end up taking those turns. Now, the bit rate here is going pretty low, but it doesn't matter. We know what is happening. We understand that. It's fine. We're used to crappy graphics, so it's all good. Don't worry about it. Now, he's going really close to the wall. Again, going for the middle nitro bottle. I'm telling you, how can I judge them for doing things that I don't understand? I can't, so it's all good. Very good punch drift over there, going for the spins to build a full nitro bar. And getting close with that tiny little drift he did, touching the wall, but it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, it's a little bit of a trade-off, going as close to the wall as possible in order to shove off the milliseconds, even if that kind of destroys a little bit your chances to get the perfect lap for that tiny bit of nitro that it gives you. Surprisingly, he does go for the jump, triple tap on the landing to keep as much speed as possible. Same situation over here, triple tap, probably another triple tap, a little bit of, was that a speed trick? I am not even sure. We might have to watch a replay of that particular section because that was absolutely very interesting what it did over there. So this is the end of the lap with a time of 1:23.390 with the Camaro SS. Come on, show it off. Yeah, it's a fancy car. I know. It looks cool. And there it is. 1:23.390. Let's have a look at whatever happened on that particular section because it was very interesting what it did there. I don't know if that was indeed a speed trick or a bit of a mistake. I really don't know. You gotta pay attention to the top speed of 386. Reach for something and rides a little bit this side. And yeah, I'm not exactly sure that was necessarily a speed trick, but I don't understand it. So you will have to let me know in the comments if this is indeed a crazy strat or what was this. I don't know. Maybe Pinecone would like to opine on this situation. And let's check who was the winner for the 1500 rank challenge. That was Marwin. Marwin taking a bunch of W's over here. Let's check his lap. And here we go. Going with the Camaro SS. Just exactly the same car that Pinecone was using. Is that a meta? New meta? I don't know. Remember that we banned the strongest cars? Oh, in a menacing black. Looking cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Almost the full knockdown. What would you call it? Strike, I suppose? I don't know. Whatever. You get the idea. Alright, some peculiar micro drifting over there. I still don't understand how people can do those micro drifts. I can't for the life. Alright? So, I don't know. Should we get a more experienced person to commentate on this? I have no idea. But it's fine. See, everybody went for that middle bottle of nitro. So maybe my theory of going for the one on the right, it's actually wrong. Maybe just not enough nitro to finish this entire section. As you can see, this is kind of running low by the end. A little bit of flat spins over there. Not even touching the wall yet. Pretty good with the straight up lines in order to not lose much speed at all, not having to do any drifts or anything, just going for straight up good old racing lines, which surprisingly still work in this game. Goes for the nitro bottle, ignores the ramp, and instead just does a simple drop over there, still has plenty nitro to work with. Triple tap on the landing, another triple tap on the landing, and here we go. How is it gonna do this? Micro drift or long drift? No, actually like two micro drifts in a row, or one right after the other. That was very impressive. And going on the sidewalk, because who needs to follow the law and whatnot. But that gives him a lap time of 1:22.02. Oh, what a beautiful lap. And with that, Marwin is the winner of the rank 1500. Next up, 1680 challenge. The track is Buddha's Teaching and Buddha, I don't know how to pronounce that. And of course, it's on classic, boosters are allowed. So what did he do? How did he solve this? Well, with boosters, it's a bit more of a normal situation, what you would expect on a race, but let's see what it did. For the third place, we got the Shadows. I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. I'm not sure. That's the name on Discord, so that's the name that I used over here with the time of 56.379. Let's check their lap. Now for this one, I don't even have to talk about muting it or not muting it. This entire lap is completely muted by default, so it don't matter, but it's fine. Let's see what it did to get a beautiful time of 56.379 with the Acura NSX GT3 Evo. What a beauty of a car that is kind of ruined by the fact that it's only available in color black. It's fine, whatever. A bit of punch drift, I believe, over there. The bitrate is a bit low, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. We understand what's happening. It's all good. Go in. As I said a little bit earlier, once you have the boosters on, you see laps that are more like we are used to seeing. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily either a good or a bad thing. It's just what we're used to. So over here is not so much to... It's more about just seeing how a really good player can pull out a great lap doing whatever they can under the circumstances that we're kind of used to seeing. And I gotta admit, I'm more biased towards the races without boosters because, again, it's really interesting to see what they do in order to preserve the nitro as much as possible. But then again, there's always some joy to be had on watching someone just do an absolute killer of a lap, just like the Shadows did right now. Again, lap time of 56.379, Acura NSX GT3 Evo, and that gives them that third place. Now let's check the second place, and that's a very loud airplane. Thank you very much, world. And the second place by Pinecone with a time of 56.363. We're talking about how much is that? Like 15 milliseconds difference? That is a very, very narrow difference. All right, so let's see what it did. Now there was a bit of a tie on this particular lap, and the tie was with Marwin, but then Marwin did another lap with an even better time. So the second place goes to Pinecone. Again, kind of what you expect in this type of lap with the triple boost. Still doing some pretty clean lines over there. Great control over the car. You can tell that he's probably using some form of analog steering, be it with tilt to steer, maybe using a controller or something. I can tell you, I can never do such good clean lines because since I use tap to steer, it's very, very binary the way that I steer. Either I'm full steering or I am not. That's it. There's no middle point. So it's always really nice to see when people that use more of an analog type of steering drive so smooth. It's so enjoyable. And with that, a very, very nice lap. I don't even know what to commentate about it. It was just a clean, fantastic lap. Again, time of 56.363, which was a time that got tied, but eventually we got a different person for the first place, which I already kind of spoiled. And who is that person? Who else if not Marwin with a time of 56.346. Now the difference over there is about 20 milliseconds. Still a very, very small difference. Really amazing to see what these people can do. And when I say these people, I mean the aliens, because I'm not one of them, obviously. So it's them, and then there's me, you know? It's fine, it's fine. Driving the Porsche 718 GT4 Club Sport, it's really curious to see how competitive this car is compared to the Acura NSX GT3 Evo. It's, I would imagine they're very, very similar cars. In fact, it feels like both of them have pretty nitro. Not amazing, but you know, it's alright. So yeah, again, comparing these laps, we're talking about a difference of in total 35 milliseconds from the third to the first place, something like that. So the laps are going to be very, very similar. So again, it's really cool to see people do an amazing lap, driving really smoothly. And when you're at the point where you have to be selecting who is the first place based on just like 20 milliseconds, you know that people are at the top not only of their game but of the game, period. It's really nice to see what they can pull off. And just like that, he gets the time of 56.346 to get the first place in this challenge. So congratulations, Marwin. It's how many have you taken in the first place? I don't know. Marwin really just came by to show how he can do those laps and kind of just, you know, showing up. That's all. That's all. And now for the last challenge of the week of the rank 1770, the Class A cars. You can see the track chosen was Tokyo Reverse. Oh, what a long track, and it's unboosted. Let's see what people can do in order to make the nitro last as long as possible in one of the longest tracks in the entire game. So, for third place, we got Pinecone with a time of 1:34.280. Now, again, driving Class A cars, these are really fast cars, and yet the lap is 1.5 minutes. That's how long that track is. Let's check his lap. Now, Pinecone is driving the Corvette ZR1 Muscle with a wing. What a beauty. Starting off with 2 knockdowns. I'm not sure if he intended to do a forced barrel roll. If that's the case, it didn't work, but it doesn't matter. Nitro's still looking good. And this starting section does have quite a bit of nitro bottles to pick along with this barrel roll. So that's definitely an opportunity. Now it's curious to see. I hadn't seen somebody forcing that particular barrel roll. That's definitely a particular strat. Ignoring that other ramp completely, just passing through it. Well, not through, but you know, to the side. Nitro barely enough to pick that other bottle over there. Still looking alright, probably going for the spins. No, just goes straight, triple tap. Goes for one single spin to not get too high and lose too much speed. Another single spin over there. The nitro situation is looking alright. Honestly, I don't think that the ZR1 has terrible nitro or anything. I find curious that he just ignored all of those nitro bottles. He's confident, had to switch to perfect nitro to make it last a little bit longer. He was already on perfect nitro, but the time, that second or half a second while he canceled the nitro and reactivated the perfect nitro, uses single nitro during that time, so that makes it last ever so slightly longer. Again, not sure if he's going for the forced barrel rolls or maybe it's a different strat of getting the most minuscule amount of airtime. I don't know, but this is the part where you can go pretty much on a straight line, trying to destroy every single bit of scenery that you can, because like I mentioned earlier, that's just the tiniest percentage, but it could make a difference. In the end, he runs out of nitro, still going for every single bit of destruction that he can, and finishes the lap in the aforementioned time of 1:34.280. Not a bad lap, not a bad lap at all. But obviously, if he's the third place, he didn't get the best one. In fact, he got the third one. That's kind of for second and third place work, huh? Who would have known? But it's out on the second place at 1:33.851. We're talking about of a difference of about 500. How much is that? That's 200. Yeah, like 400 and some milliseconds. I don't know. I can do math. But what I can do is check his lap. Now, I do have to say it. I have to applaud Al. If anything, because he's driving a beautiful, beautiful car. But on top of that, it's a car that vrooms fantastic. And he has the vroom sounds in the game without music. Lovely, we get to hear some vrooms with a fantastic car. Let's check it out. What happened in this one? All right, a good start. Little bit of knockdown, not too much. Going for all the destruction that he can. And what did I just do? What did I do? Hold on. All right, we may have to restart watching this particular lap, because apparently the key that I used to lower the volume in the YouTube video no longer works. Instead, it rewinds the video. So let's check it out from the get again and get to enjoy those broomy noises. Oh yeah. 1 knockdown, 2 knockdowns, no jump. Going for every bit of destruction possible. Goes for the last nitro bottle of those 3 in succession. 1 nitro bottle, goes for the spin. Is he gonna try to go for those? Yeah, also. Man, have I ignored that ramp for too long? Possibly. Is he gonna take this one? No, he also ignores it. Wow, I didn't know that the pros ignore that ramp. I had no idea. I always take it and normally end up crashing in the next section because I take the jump too high and skill issues. It's fine. All right, some triple tap nitro going for 1 spin. Again, similar to the previous lap, not too crazy. Trying to not go too high. Close to the wall and goes for one of the nitro bottles. That's indeed what I was expecting, because that nitro bottle is kind of in the way as you're trying to steer back into the expected section or what's coming next on the track. Going for one barrel roll in this section. 1, 2. Whoa! Whoa, that was a bit risky. I'd never dare to do that, but hey, look at that. He feels so confident that he goes for the single nitro bottle instead of the orange one. I mean the blue one versus the orange. Now he goes for the orange, but he has an amazing amount of nitro still to work with. And this car honestly has some alright nitro duration from what I can remember. So he should be doing alright. I'm not necessarily sure that it's gonna last long enough to make it all the way there, but still was pretty close. Almost got there with nitro. Okay, the AI doing weird things, but why not? And that gives us the lap time of 1:33.851. Beautiful lap outs, and I appreciate you for having the vroomy vroom with that music. It makes it a bit more, you know, workable for this video. But anyway, now for the first place we got, who would have known, Marwin with a time of 1:33.290. We're talking about of an improvement of half a second. What did Marwin do? Let's check it out. And now we're back to the muted videos because music, you know, it's fine. It was fine while it lasted in that one single lap. It's fine. Now Marwin is starting with the using the Veyron Super Sport, that car that almost nobody has. From what I hear, he has fantastic acceleration. So is that what is giving him the advantage? Let's see what else he does. Some clean lines overall, going for the first jump, the second jump, forcing the barrel roll. That's what I find really cool, the fact that they know and they can manage that. See, all three of the pros ignore that ramp. All right, I'm taking notes. And honestly, that's indeed what I wanted from this thing, for me to learn how to play this game. Just me, I don't care about anybody. I'm just kidding. I will never be able to play like these people, but I did want to show the videos, the laps on how people are doing these amazing times, because I think it's more interesting than just to get a screenshot of the final time. And on top of that, we actually get to see if it's a legit lap. I'm not saying that these people don't have a legit lap, they obviously do, but there's always the possibility of someone activating some sort of cheat or I don't know what. Whoa, all right, that's unique. Going for a forced inverse barrel roll over there, that's insane. But all right, going for the big nitro bottle, forcing another one. Jesus Christ, that is why he improved the time so much. He has been forcing a bunch of barrel rolls, and that probably is giving him just enough airtime to build extra speed. Even if it's just for literally a tenth of a second, that is a tenth of a second that he's doing a little bit faster, and in the end, all of that counts. And yeah, as I was saying, it's really great to see how people do this lap, see what they're doing in order to achieve these amazing times, and maybe that is how we all, as a community, can learn from the best. And there you have it. That is a time of 1:33.290 with the Veyron Super Sport. Ignore the 16.4. I don't know why they love putting that over there. And that is how Marwin managed to win yet another challenge in first place. The challenge for 1770. Never mind the fact that over here it says 1700. I know it's a bit of an error. It will get fixed eventually. Everything, it's a work in progress. This entire concept of the HOVAC, it's a work in progress. I hope you're liking how this works, because the idea is to continue doing this week by week. I love seeing people submitting the runs, and even if your lap wasn't featured over here, I think it's always good to see the competition, see what you can do, see where you're standing, and like I was saying earlier, in the end, learn from the best and see how you can improve your own skills in the game, and also enjoying seeing just these pros doing what pros do. So, congratulations to the winner of the pilot run for the House of Room Asphalt challenges. And rest assured that over time we will compile a list of who has won how many times and all of that, because why not? It will be nice to see how many people can win how many, let's say, cups or how many trophies. I don't know, whatever. Now, by the time you're watching this video, the new challenges for the week are up. And if you want to participate, compete, and perhaps be featured in these videos, make sure to join our Discord server, the House of Room. Link is on the description. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining, for playing, you for watching. This is a lot of fun, and I hope that we can keep this going. Again, I have to invite you to the House of Room, because this is where all of this takes place. But that is all for today. Thank you very much for watching. This was DBT, and these were the Vrooms.